Today we look at the hilarious tale of a powerful young wizard going up against the archpriestess of wizardry herself, together in what is inarguably the best crossover of 2022 so far. And now for some reason I have the pleasure of giving you the story of Vaush versus J.K. Rowling. This one's gonna be a doozy because I personally haven't seen this level of cell phone in multiple years. Well, in fact, it's left me confused on whether or not it's a cell phone in the first place. Vaush certainly would have me believe that he is a secret high-level genius and that I'm dumb for even laughing in the first place. But is this even funnier than that? I mean, maybe I got this all wrong. Is Vaush secretly based this whole time? No. So let's get into it. Starting at ground zero, Twitter.com.
Huh. His Twitter account. Interesting. Let's see. EGG.
Welcome to Twitter.com.
Well, that was easy.
All around me, Eggmans.
For those of you with the privilege, luxury, and pure wisdom to not know anything that's going on Twitter.com, you may not even know anything that's happened to the reputation of the beloved child author. And I respect your decision to not care about that, which is why I will not be explaining it in full, because it is a bunch of bullshit, essentially. Long story short, they attempted to Dave Chappelle her before they attempted to Dave Chappelle. So, yeah. The only reason you need to know that, even, is because of the position that it put her in the eyes of some people. As we're familiar these days more than ever, if you are deemed to be on the opposite political spectrum of someone, it is very, 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 very socially acceptable to commit violence against you in multiple different ways, as well as just outright rudeness. You know what I'm talking about. And so the most entertaining part of that, to me, is seeing just how far people will go. Because every now and then, someone will cross the line. I mean, nobody's gonna care if you, say, dump a milkshake on the head of someone you claim to be a Nazi.
So you come in very aggressively. That's what you get for being a fascist! Fuck off! You fucking Nazi prick!
Because people who play video games on the internet are Nazis now. But, what is the line? What can you do? What can you say to what person that would be too much? Most of you are simple people who don't think anything crazy in your brain, so you don't even find that interesting, because you obviously treat people with equal mutual respect, especially in the fucking future, okay? Because it's the fucking future. But if you've fallen into the trap of tokenizing every possible attribute of the person, skin, body, orientation, etc., then talking shit to people becomes a very hilarious minefield of...
This duel ends when I say it does.
It's like an MMO card game or something where it's like, you see, I'm a black POC, but you are an Asian red femme trans, so I think you have more points than I do, so I can't talk shit to you.
Social justice, 1, 2, 3. I want to be PC. That's just the way to be for me. And you, your hateful slurs are through. I call woo-woo on you. We'll fight until you're PC, black and blue. We are language police, fighting bigotry. Your hateful words can suck our turds, cause it's PC for me. And you,
And so with all of that in mind, let us teleport to Women's Day 2022. Now, since J.K. Rowling is British...
You think you don't read my comments on Facebook? I'll take you out of that bonnet and carry on driving, you little dings.
Whilst we're on that Facebook subject, this is a message for Phil Trout. You want to take piss out my curtains, mate? Have you seen State on Your Bird's beef curtains, mate? You can swing from flap to flap, mate, and they fucking stink.
And I do not pass up an opportunity to make fun of Europeans. I will be using a fake patois for this part of the video. I can't. This is what a woman who owns a dictionary and a backbone looks like. Apparently, right, under a Labour government, today will become We Must Not Be Named Day. Now, as a based alpha giga chad myself, I have a limited perspective of the world. As I've lived through the rise of social justice, I've had many thoughts about all of the things regarding this and that and penises and all this is mostly penis talk, sadly. It's not political, but I appreciate that in many ways. But while watching people argue in the streets about pronouns and the like, I never once considered what women think. I know, hardy har har, but just stay with me for a second. Consider putting all your time and effort into building a career as a model or something like that, and then waking up one morning and seeing James Charles on the cover of CoverGirl. I can imagine that would piss you off. Now, if that's valid, who cares? It's funny. James Charles isn't even trans, by the way, so imagine how much more angry it would make. The answer completely escapes us. All you need to know is that the trans issue has been living rent-free in her head for a few years now, but I understand why. Enter.
Hello. Capitalist Vaush! Capitalist Vaush just wants capitalism. Yes, our good American soldiers. Yes, our good Americans. Yes, yes. Fighting injustice. Yes, that's what America does. My goal isn't to replace the minority. It is to eliminate the minority. Wait, that doesn't sound good. Wouldn't it be funny if we said the N-word 76 times in a row?
Wouldn't it? The reason I'm using the Question Man music is because this is the point of the story where I simply lose comprehension of all that's going on inside anyone's head at this point. The true motivations of Vaush are honestly up to interpretation, and I am open ears. But a lot of people aren't open ears. In fact, now, if you're completely unfamiliar with him as an individual or online personality, then you may not take this the right way. Given this is a fluid situation and his own viewers are currently deciding if there is even a way that this could be taken correctly, you have to understand, despite his politics or any other thing you've heard about him, which we'll get to, he's funny. He's very, very fucking funny. And this is a part of his comedy style. It's very similar to things I do, where you just say the funniest thing possible based on the most absurd position that the person that you're arguing against has, you know. Although this does give detractors an easy opportunity to take clips out of context, as I already have in this video, who really cares? It's just important to know that whatever side you may fall on in this debate, that series of tweets is not quite as bad as it looks. But who cares what the actual intent is? You don't say fuck balloons on National Free Balloon Day. It's first grade, SpongeBob. So unsurprisingly, an internet debate has begun amongst many factions on the series of tubes. From an outside perspective, you can only assume that this guy is just the biggest, angry incel, woman-hating piece of shit motherfucker. Especially if you don't have any context, which you don't with tweets if you just see them like I just posted to you. But if you're a fan of his or familiar with him, even really slightly, then you could easily see that this is just an edgy joke at the very worst, right? Again, you don't even need to be a fan of it necessarily. If you're just familiar with what he does, then you know that that's his, style of humor a lot of the time. Which naturally leads me to the most interesting group, and that is people who are fans of his who definitely know his joking style, yet still find this unacceptable. I wonder about that. But not quite this second, because JK's pissed. JK Rowling more like JK fucking Simmons. She was aggro. Let's read. What you and your ilk fail to appreciate is how tediously familiar I find your tactics. I had a violent ex-husband who used to tell me life would be great if only I'd comply, but you're making the same mistake he did. Women like me can't be bullied out of resistance.
Pow!
Wait, that wasn't a sick burn. That was borderline wholesome 100. What the hell's going on here? I was told this was a flame war. There's a whole Newsweek article. God damn it, they got us again. In Vaush's epically titled response video to this entire situation, which I hope sets the trend in the future for YouTuber apologies, the moral necessity of being sexist to JK Rowling, and why I do it again. He basically gives a sober recap of everything I just said with a bit more personal insight, but I mean, it's basically, a joke.
You see, there I was, innocently tweeting out misogynistic stuff on International Women's Day. All J.K. Rowling had to do was shut the F up. I see you, YouTube. And she would have been almost uncritically beloved for like a century. Women be quieter and start apologizing challenge. Phenomenal stuff. The joke here being, of course, that a common slogan for women's liberation is women be loud, stop apologizing, a sentiment which I agree with, in most cases, unless you're J.K. Rowling. So, ironic misogyny, send tweet, very funny, haha, Vaush problematic, I get it, You think I'm unfunny? That's okay. We're not talking about that, all right?
Yes, it turns out the engine of the outrage economy is so efficient, it can effectively run on pure fumes, where almost any interaction can become a flashpoint for 50,000 people to be arguing amongst each other, me included, when it's actually not that big of a deal at all. We are moving ever closer to a return to the Kumite. But anyway, yes, I am aware that the Reddit squadron may have been completely obliterated already, and I will get to that. However, it is race week, so I'll have to cheer for the red car. I've also been sinking a lot of time into a very big anime video, so as long as you guys don't mind me looking at Reddit, then I can keep the content coming hot and fast. Hello, new friends. Like, subscribe, bye.